Alrighty, so we'll kind of go over some stuff right now, kind of some modifications here and there. And if you have any questions, you know how to find me, you know how to contact me and everything else. That shouldn't be an issue by now, but if it still is, please let me know. So within that, without further ado, I'll kind of go into the various things. So I'll do a screen share. And so here is the changes. So within that, here are the changes. If you look on your syllabus, again, these are all the various due dates, but again, there's been some modifications, and the reason why is the course dates have been somewhat shortened. And the reason why, I know I'm always going to have students that will always ask, why, and everything else. Is there a reason? And the reason why is just simply for your safety, and also just so that you don't freeze during the winter. So again, different students are having different hardships here and there. And so within that, I want to kind of have the course shortened so that say for example, if you have to upload assignments on campus, or if you have to upload it here and there, or even trying to find Wi-Fi hotspots here and there, I know it's a little harder. And so within that, due to the pandemic and everything else, and so within that, I want to shorten the course so that you're able to kind of get it done quicker. So the initial cutoff date will be the 21st. So again, that's where the modifications are happening. So again, you should have your discussion question number 10 already up. Bear in mind, I'm going by the weeks discussion, or week 10, which is discussion question number 7. I know I have some students that are asking, what it doesn't coincide, what happened to 6, 7, 8. Again, discussion question number 6 was in week 7. Within that, week 10, you have discussion question number 7 that's coming up. So within that, chapter 1, if you notice in the PowerPoint that is available, a lot of the information is kind of new to you as well. So within that, some of the information from the text is there, but in addition to that, you also have the various elements that are kind of implemented. The reason why is the textbook is somewhat dated, but at the same time, a lot of the information is still relevant. Within that, we'll be making a new transition into the new textbook, hopefully by the next course that we teach again, which again, you're still getting the same quality information, everything else, but again, it's just a modification in terms of what is available there in terms of the PowerPoint. So again, you're getting a lot of information from the PowerPoints. Within that, so I'm gonna go into the quizzes. So quiz number 4, that's until the 30th of October. So by the end of the month, you should have quiz number 4. I am crossing out chapters 1, 6, and 7 from Collins & Collins textbook. So I won't be testing you or quizzing you on that. I'll be quizzing you only on chapters 15 from our primary textbook that we've been using from the get-go. So you should be able to breathe some sigh of relief, because again, we didn't go over that in quiz number 3. So I just dropped it down. So initially you're just going to be quizzed on chapter 15 in quiz number 4. And in quiz number 5, I'm blending chapter 5 and 6. So if you notice in the bottom, there was a quiz 6. I'm blending it all together with quiz 5 and 6 and giving you a 40 question quiz. It's not going to be like how it was set up before, where you had 40 questions. They were only worth 0.5 points for a total of 20 points. This one's just going to be 40 points, 40 questions, very straightforward. It's going to be on chapter 16, but I'm combining both quizzes together. So it's going to be quiz number 5 and 6. So it kind of rounds out everything. In addition to that, you also have your reflection paper. Don't forget about that. So again, it's going to be available on your Blackboard. So within that, Collins & Collins textbook, a lot of the discussion questions, so week 10, discussion question will kind of revolve around the initial PowerPoints and also that initial text. So a lot of this discussion question will kind of focus in around that initial textbook itself. So again, discussion question number 7. Again, the article is already provided for you. And so within that, you're kind of just breaking it down, utilizing the textbook and how you can implement it and everything else. So hopefully that'll help. So discussion question number 8 will also be available soon. as well as discussion question number 9. And so within that, I'm going to make it all available before the week's end so that it's all there. So it gives you time to start processing it, to start working on it. It gives you time to say, hey, you know what, if I want to crush it out, in 2 weeks' time, you can. That's one of the things I'm looking at, is to see if you can finish up pretty quickly. We just want to make sure that you have the same information. But again, the PowerPoints will also be available and everything else. So by next week, you're going to have chapter 6, chapter 7, chapter 11, chapter 12. But again, hopefully by the end of this week, I should have those up. Again, it's not a promise, but it should be available to you hopefully soon. Within that, the library research paper. So that's going to be a huge portion of your grade as well. So let me go into that. Let me show you hold on, let me pull it up. So let me share that. So here you go. So here's a library research paper. There is a difference between this and your theory to practice paper. The theory to practice paper was more stringent. It was very, I was looking at greater detail to all these different elements. Your library research paper, don't get me wrong, it still will be graded with the same emphasis, but again, there is some level of leeway. You're looking at 3 to 4 pages. Anything less than 3 pages, again, you will have points deducted. Anything more than 4 pages, you'll also have points deducted. So just try to stick within that 3 to 4 page paper of written work. Bear in mind, it is written work. The cover sheet or the title page and also the reference don't count in that 3 to 4 pages. They are separate. But overall, just make sure you're doing the in-text citation, make sure you're doing all of that. So let me just kind of highlight all of this. So the focus of the writing exercise to apply previous psychological research and knowledge to an issue in the community or within the world that you feel is being overlooked or neglected. Again, this one's more open to interpretation. Within that, you're primarily just sharing information, very different from the applying theory to practice paper. Within that, if the topic has been covered within the text or even within the articles that have been proffered to you, again, you can utilize a lot of that. So if it's a topic that's already been covered, you can utilize that outlook. Again, within this, you're not necessarily, you're primarily sharing information. So within that, let me kind of go down. Here's the breakdown. So again, the articles, you're going to have to utilize 3 scholarly research journal sources. In other words, 3 scholarly peer-reviewed articles. They have to be within the past 10 years. So the 10 years from here, so 2020, all the way to what, 2010. So within that, that's your window of time. So again, you're having to apply all that information. One of the things that I'm looking at is, here's the breakdown. So the breakdown is, let me point it out. Let's see. Here's where it becomes interesting. You'll have one article that is focused on the pros of the topic that you've chosen. So again, that article has to kind of emphasize a pro of the initial topic that you've chosen. Within that, you're also going to have another article that's going to be the cons. So it's compare and contrast. Within that, the third article will be the article that ties it all together. So that's where you kind of reach a conclusion utilizing that third article. But you're also looking at the positive elements. Again, that's one of the things you're always looking at is what things can you benefit from the initial outlook that you're initially proposing, or also the initial outlook that you're initially sharing. So again, that's kind of one of the things I'm looking at. So again, I'm only looking at 3 scholarly research journals. Within that, here are the introductions, state the topic you've chosen, why you were interested in it. Summarize in your own words the findings of each study that you have read. The third one is the evaluation. Discussing the study, give your own evaluation. How good was each study? Why? Do you agree with the conclusion drawn by the authors? Again, don't just use one-word sentences. Go a little bit farther than that. This is where you're having to share a lot of the information that you've kind of come across. Number 4, summary and conclusion. After presenting the individual studies, tie them together. This is where you're kind of tying it off. You're not sharing new insight. You just simply say, okay, this is what I've learned about the topic that I've chosen. So again, that's one of the things, that's the difference between this one and the theory to practice paper. So again, you have until November 21st to submit it. So again, I would start working on it and everything else. But if you have any questions, reach out to me, text me, call me. Let me know if you're hitting any ruts. But again, overall, if you have any questions, even about the changes in terms of the scheduling, let me know. Again, like I said, we're just trying to make it a little bit easier for each of you so that you're not being overwhelmed in terms of having to struggle in the weather and everything else. So again, within that, I'll bid you guys good night and have a great evening. And I'll probably be updating some more information as time progresses, not so much in the scheduling, just primarily on Blackboard and everything else. But again, if you have any questions, let me know. Have a good evening. That'll be it for tonight.